afternoon, everybody, and welcome in to the Maize and Blue Reviews. Good afternoon, Michigan football. Oh, it is a good Monday, and it's a predictable Monday, something that you have been looking forward to as a Michigan fan for a long time, and it's here. There it is. Number one. Michigan is number one in the Associated Press top 25. Just sit back and enjoy it. But you can enjoy it certainly for today, as Michigan claims 60 out of the 61 votes that were cast. Who was that one person that voted for Houston at number 2? I don't know. Maybe we can dig that up. But Michigan, 60 out of the 61 votes to be the number one team in the country on this Monday, February the 16th. It's great. It really is great. It's great for the program. It's great any way you want to look at it. You know, we all know when you want to say, yeah, the goal is to be number one April the 6th. No kidding. So, but along the way, being the number one team, not too shabby. Houston is number 2. Duke is number 3.
Overrated.
And you got Arizona, who was number 1 most of the year and undefeated, but then they lost 2 games. They fall to number 4. UConn, Iowa State. Is Houston and Iowa State play tonight? I think so. What a game that'll be. And then there's Purdue. There's Purdue at number 7. So number 1 versus number 7 tomorrow. Can it be any bigger of a deal than number 1 versus number 7? Well, I'm going to say yes, because we have a little animosity worked in, courtesy of Michigan's Yaxel Lendenborg. And I think Dirge understands that. So Yaxel, when you probably have seen this video. I don't know if I saw it over the weekend or last week, but when I saw it, I didn't play. You see a lot of things, and I thought it was over the top, and I thought it was AI. I see a lot of videos of this dude's looking for whatever. I mean, people want whether it's trolling or they think they're funny, they're AI and things and making things up. That's what I thought it was, because the video has, for those that haven't seen it, it's just Yak standing there, and Yak says, "When we see Purdue, we're gonna spank they blanking ass. We're gonna beat they blanking ass. Blank Purdue." So I was like, what's the Yaks is gonna come out? Well, the Yaks didn't say that last week. Yaks didn't say it after any game this year. When Yak signed right after that, it appears that he was at a club or a bar, and it was late. So I think I was at Dusty's availability today, and Dusty talked about it being a 21 establishment. I think he said after hours. So it makes it seem like Yaks might have had a few. And after the bar closed, somebody came up and he just signed at Michigan, and Purdue was the preseason number 1. And somebody, I don't know how they had their phone right in his face or whatever. And they said, hey, maybe Yaks didn't care. And they said, what do you think of Purdue? And then, Yak said what he said. And then we haven't seen that. And then whoever had that said, oh, I'm going to wait till mid-February and I'm going to drop this bad boy out there. And they have done that. So that's where you start. What are you going to say? And what am I going to say? Well, I'm going to say, let me give you the rundown of where we're at right here. And Michigan's number one. I mean, that's the big story today. That's what's happening. The hockey team, they took all of the points that they could over the weekend against Penn State, except one. Well, so that's what, 5 out of 6. And now they look ahead to Wisconsin. I'm heavily involved right now in Michigan hockey. I am so excited about the hockey team. I'm all hockey and basketball right now. I'm up to here. I can't get enough. I love it. It's going great. So we'll talk a little hockey. But we start with this Yak story as it applies towards the game tomorrow with now number 1 Michigan. Can I get them on the same page? Almost. That's all right. You can barely see Purdue. That's okay. Against Michigan as they travel to West Lafayette to take on Purdue. So it's number 1 versus number 7. That's great. And then you have this Yaks video appearing. And so the first thing you say is, F-bombs, F the Boilers, if you're a Michigan fan. I think that's the instant reaction. Yeah, we'll ride with Yaks. F the Boilers. I think most of the Michigan fans will feel that way. That was back when he signed, and you're there. Does it give any extra motivation? Here's what I will predict. If Michigan wins the game, it'll be, of course, great for the Maize and Blue. And I would say that afterwards I could see Yaks saying, hey, I got a little bit of, ahead of myself there. I don't mean anything mean-spirited towards Purdue. And, we're on to Duke. And awesome. And everybody's going to be like, great. I don't think you'll then have any more Yak stuff. Now they lose. I don't think Michigan fans are going to like it as much, obviously. Purdue fans will be all over it. And then I can guarantee this, that all the people that are like, it means nothing. Even though you say that, every Boilermaker that talks after the game will say, yeah, well, we didn't like what he had to say about our team. They're all going to say that. So whether you think it means anything, whether you want to make a case that it doesn't mean anything, they're all going to say it means something. And it's definitely going to have the crowd with all kinds of different signs with Yaks. And it just adds to the drama of this game. Now, would I have rather have had Yaks not, F-bomb up and down the Boilers? Yeah. I mean, I know that this day and age, there's a lot of people that, and I don't say day and age, there's a lot of people that just love this anyways. Yeah, let's go. F everybody. Us against the world. Screw everybody in there. Okay. You can have it like that. He puts a target on himself, and he puts a target on Michigan. This is how I'm looking at it. And they've already got a target. Now the target's that much bigger. It's not classy. And so I would rather have it not have happened. Now that's where I put the period on it and put the full stop. But it did happen. And I don't think you're going to see Yaks coming out and now saying, you know what, now F the Blue Devils. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's learned, if you take Dusty May at his word today, he said that Yaks did not like that Yaks. Let me see if he said embarrassed. He said he felt terrible about it. He made a mistake, and he said he'll learn from it. He'll be better from it. So it's not like Yaks is out there saying, yeah, doubling down. Yeah, blank them. We're going in there. We're going to take over the trap. He's not saying that. So that's not what Dusty said that Yaks is doing. But so it adds drama and to already, I mean, college basketball, Michigan's on the top of the college basketball world. They are going to defend their number 1 ranking tomorrow for the first time on the road at Mackey Arena, a game I remember last year. Last year doesn't matter, but they lost by, 40 points. It was over before it started. It was over quickly. And that's a tough place to play. Of course, raucous crowd, everything they're going to be all about, Yaks this, Yaks that, blank Yaks, blank the Boilers, blank Yaks. So it adds a lot of that. And so now that it has happened, I think you just roll with it. from a Michigan standpoint. Anybody wants to say and bring anything like, oh yeah, save it. We'll save it. This is a one-off. This is a one-time deal. Oh, well, if something else comes down the road, we'll handle it there. But I'm not taking any, Yaks is this, Yaks is that. Yaks said what he said, and now he's going to go into Purdue as a Mark man, and we're going to see how he handles it. I think he can handle it. I'm glad it's Yaks and it wasn't, I don't know, Cheddar or Gale. Those guys are important to the team. Gale probably a little bit more important than Cheddar, but this is Michigan's number one player that did this. This wasn't, someone that, like the guy from Ohio State, when they were coming up to play Michigan, he was like, we're out for blood or whatever. The guy didn't even get in the game, where if he did, he didn't score any points. It was like, okay, we've had enough of you. We don't even know your name. I don't know his name. Some dude on the end of the Ohio State bench. This is Michigan's top player, candidate for the player of the year. And he's shining an even brighter light. He's the way he plays the game. This is, if it doesn't really translate to what he was, acting like at the after hours, blank Purdue. That's not how he acts. That's not how he talks normally. Now, Dusty said he doesn't talk like that normally. So I'll be interested to hear from Yaks again on this. If he says, I don't know, I just appreciate him being honest. Maybe, he could go out there and say, I had one too many. I just signed. I was fired up. I said, yeah, blank Purdue. I don't mean anything bad about it. I think that's actually the way that it is. I'm not going over the top on it at all. I've already said it. I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself and go around and round and round about, well, it wasn't classy, but it happened and now it did. I think when I look at social media nowadays, I have a lot of people. There was this one person that would be F-bombing me every time I would put a tweet out. To be like, you suck, you blow. And one time usually I just ignore people. I'm like, all right, somebody wants me to respond to them. That's really not the way I like people to show respect. I'll show them some respect. But this particular person had gone on for, I don't know, months, if not years. And the one time I said, hey, what's your problem? What do you, And he just said, I don't mean anything by it. I like you. He actually said, I like you. And that's just how I roll. And I said, okay, cool. And then he came back and was like, hey, what do you think of the game? I'm like, here's somebody that couldn't have been any meaner to me. Always, telling me I suck and I blow and everything. They hated all my opinions. And then one time I say, what's your problem? He said, I don't have a problem. So I think a lot of times that's, I don't know if that's really the same thing or not, but I guess my point on that is that's kind of social media. You say something, you sit on it, you come out. It's not the worst thing in the world. Not the best thing, not the worst thing. It adds to the drama. So now I am circling back and repeating myself. So that is a good time to see what the people think. Jay says the next 4 games will tell us all we need to know about us. We have a massive target on our back now. Jay, the next 4 games, you say, let's see. At Purdue, at Duke.
Overrated.
Minnesota.
A bitch.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Now, Minnesota. At Illinois. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just take the entire slate. This is the remaining games that Michigan has left. I think we'll know a lot tomorrow night. I think we're going to go know a lot on Saturday night. I think to close out the year, those would be your point, Jay, the next 4 games. What if they win 3 out of 4? I think they're going to win 3 out of 4. Three out of 4 would be very. Would you take 3 out of 4 right now? I would take personally 3 out of 4. You don't like conceding losses. And if I was going to concede a loss, how about they win the next 3 and then they would drop one at Illinois? That would, in this situation where you have to lose one, that would sharpen them up. Then as they flip the calendar going into March, hey, Illinois is tough. Maybe you can get the revenge in the Big Ten tournament in Chicago, which is going to be glorious, the Big Ten tournament. You still control your own destiny to win the Big Ten regular season. You go on the road and you take care of Iowa, and then you mop the floor with Michigan State. But I know I think the next 4 games, I'll do it. Joe is talking yaks. He said he did it. I'll bet he won't do it again. He'll learn, but we'll see if he can back it up. The good ones can back it up. Ooh. Joe, I like your style. Is that are you in the band? What? My eyes just not absorbing your avatar there. Is it the Pope? Is it a Michigan crowd? Is it a ghost? I see some flowers. I guess I can't tell. Ted thinks that Yax's teammates will have his back. I think that's true too. So there we go. That's what we are thinking. I'm not going to call it Yaxgate or there is Mr. Lendeborg. I appreciated someone, I like the comments here. After the fact, I will go back and I will look at the video. I try to do this and say, well, has anybody left any comments on the video? And periodically, well, not periodically, most of the times, yes, there are comments, and I'll look through them. And if you ever have an issue or something that I say, or if I say something wrong, which probably happens every show, I'm not trying to do that, but I like to correct it. There was last video, somebody was saying that they did not like the way that I said Yaxel Lendenborg. And I think that it was after Sunday's game or Saturday's game, Lendeborg or whatever. I'm working on it and I'll try to say it the right way. I think I was just yelling and, he's got the Lendeborg. You can say it, you could say it different ways, but it is Lendeborg. But I think I was putting the enunciation on the D instead of the Borg or whatever. They didn't like it. I'm working on it. Oh, a whitetail buck. Oh, now that you say that, I see it perfectly. I didn't see it at all before. But yeah, I see the nose. I see this is some couple points on there that I said. 1, 2, 3, 6 points. A lot of points there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 points. 6 points. Yeah, well, I am in the position where now I've got my own Borg here, my Lendeborg. And I was ready on that Friday against Michigan State. I had a drink to pour in it. You clean this thing out, that's for sure. But who knows? I was pretty fired up after that Friday. I had brought the drink in. But my man didn't show up. He was always telling me to chug the Borg. And I had waited just for that situation. And then, there goes the Borg. He didn't show up. Tomorrow, I'll try to have the Borg ready to go. Mar is saying no issues with the video. Made before the season, no biggie. No biggie. Andre says, you think the videos are bad. We get to hear what he's going to say to Purdue's face. That's right. I don't think the video's bad. This always comes back to you. There's a lot of different things people want to go. I noticed people said, I wish, we sometimes could go back where there was no social media, what guys were saying. And yeah, it was a little bit different then. I remember what had happened with Scott Skiles. Did he get busted with coke, or was it just a rumor? I don't remember. Maybe Scott Skiles actually got busted with cocaine. It could have been. But the Michigan fans had all then filled up these Ziplocs with flour. And they were at the game, and they had the signs. And then, the state fans were ruthless with Jalen when he got caught in the crack house, or his friend's house, crack house, air quotations. So fans will be all over that. No doubt. Good to see Jason. Jason, what a professional. Coach JP. Jason giving a shout out to my goat, said, hope all is well. We're number 1 in the country in basketball and number 2 in hockey. Life is great as a U of M fan. Yeah, and I'll give you an update on Penny and Lola Ray, her sister, who's the more athletic, dominant goat. We had a stretch. I think JP is from Georgia. It's beautiful out today. It was beautiful out this weekend. 40, 50 degrees. It's beautiful for up here, but we were under 10. It felt like 10 below for about a month. Probably wasn't that, but it was super cold. And I would feel bad for my goats. And people, that have goats, these, goats are hardy. Give them water. Give them something to break the wind. They've been around for 3,000 years. Don't worry about it. But still, they're our pets. I was worried about it. I'd give them so much straw, so much hay, so much this pine bedding that they can lay on, mineral, all these things, hot water, and they hate the cold weather. I've noticed. We've had them over 6 years. I know that they don't like the cold weather, but finally last week when the weather broke, they came out and I said, girls, you made it. Andre says, Yax has got me fired up. Do we win the Big Ten outright this year? Yes. I think that's the idea right now. What do they get, a 2-game lead in the Big Ten? I think that's the idea. That the last game against Michigan State, I hope, I don't know, I hope that it means that if they win the game, they win it outright. That it has some meaning. I don't know. Would it be great if they had already clinched and then they go into that game, like, oh, they wouldn't be resting their players against Tom Izzo with a chance to sweep them away. But yes, I think the goal right here is, winning it outright. If they go, and they could probably do it, and they could do it a lot of different ways, start to get into those scenarios. But it can happen. That's a basketball commitment. I guess I can just page it. There it is. That's what I want. I was going to just take it down so that everybody didn't see me scrolling through all these files, but there it is. Before the season, Dusty said he wasn't shying away from the expectations, and the expectations were pretty high. And then I put down some of the things that I wanted to see along the way to Natty. Along the way to the Natty, it's pretty easy to say the Final Four, because if you win the Natty, you go to the Final Four. So I didn't put those in there, but I did actually, now that I see it, I did put Final Four there. Oops. I wanted at one point to see Michigan be the number 1 team in the country. Well, that's the day. Today's the day. It has happened. So I'm just going to go out in the sun and enjoy it. I am absolutely just going to soak up the sun and enjoy being number 1. I wanted to see Michigan win the Big Ten regular season and the Big Ten tournament. That double, that'd be awesome. Those are nice things to do. Sweep Michigan State. They're halfway home. They've got the harder piece doing it at Breslin, the last game of the year. They're on track to do that. Feeling pretty good about that. And then the last goal along the way that I put in there, beat Purdue. I could gather that one up tomorrow. So it's going pretty good. The schedule is tough. Yeah, geez. You'd look at Purdue, Illinois, and MSU, what they have left. They're going to lose some games. Michigan will probably lose one. So, but we are getting close enough where you can start saying, well, they got that, and they'll probably lose this one. And, just like football. Heather Dinich will be on, and saying, oh, well, let's look at the brackets already. I'm ready for Joey Brackets. Joey Brackets has been around already for a couple weeks, and my phone's always giving me updates on the bracket and everything. And I appreciate, there's people that want to see. But, when you're on the bubble, you look and say, hey, are we in or are we not? And so those are for bubble teams. But, Michigan, I looked at one and I was like, wow, what an easy path. But, it's a little bit early to be thinking about. But being a 1 seed and then being the number 1 overall seed, you think, man, I think the one that I looked at had Kansas as a number 2 seed. I'm thinking, Michigan, I'll take it. Kansas to go to the Final Four? Let's do it. So let's make it happen. Purdue tomorrow. Duke on Saturday. And it just keeps, as we sit here, it's getting better and better. It's as a, you say, I know it's not the same as football. There's a lot of people in football, they don't like tough schedule. Nobody plays, we want the easiest schedule possible. And maybe right now, if you could, zap the Duke game out there, if you're a Michigan basketball fan, and make it, I don't know, whoever, Sacramento State or something, say, I'd rather play Sacramento State this Saturday. All right. Because look, we got to go to Illinois and got to go to Purdue tomorrow night. I want to be playing Duke. I'm looking forward to it. This is a great week. I mean, if you can't enjoy this week, then I don't know. I don't know about you. I know some people, they're just like, they're like love football so much that even when something great like basketball comes up, Michigan number 1 team, they're like, how do you think Whittingham's going to do? What do you think of the new defensive tackle coach? Oh, let's focus on that. It's like, I get it. Okay. You're like, you love football so much. I'm taking this week. This is exciting. This is what it's all about. This is as good as it gets. This is great. Tomorrow, it's just going to be, it sucks that it's on Peacock. I'll give you that. Even though I have Peacock, it sucks. I'll complain. Let's complain about Peacock for a couple minutes. Peacock, it loads up on my TV, and then I can't really tell, sometimes it's go, you want to watch this thing, and you can't even tell if you are on it or not. They should do a better job being able to make it more user-friendly. When you get in there, you can't even tell. You're zipping around, and you're like, okay, am I locked in or not? And then you go to the game, and it takes a minute to load. And you're sitting here thinking, all right. And then it goes there, and then it doesn't say, hey, you're locked in. Sometimes it'll just be like a blank screen, or then it'll say, something's upcoming. And then they'll just have maybe a camera shot from the corner. You can make out, you're like, oh, that's Mackey. But I think the last game that was on Peacock, was it the Nebraska game? Maybe. I was watching it, and the last shot Nebraska had to tie the game, 2 seconds to go or something. I'm watching it, and all of a sudden it just logs off. And then I'm like, oh, what? Wait a second. It takes me 3 minutes to log back on. I use it through a Fire Stick, so I don't know. I'm paying for it. That drives me crazy. And it's not the easiest way to, toggle back and forth. Sometimes I like to watch a replay. Or I like to pause it and then come back and have a little built up. Then I can zip forward a little bit. It's too hard. It's harder. Difficult. Now, what would be interesting if there would be somebody, I don't know how, do we have anybody in their 20s or 30s? Probably. Be like, oh, it's super simple. You're just old. No, I would buy, not the logging on. There's nothing you can do about that. But the fast forward, the reverse, 10 seconds, pause, like has some of that, but it just doesn't seem like it works well. I think I need a better controller. Maybe a new battery. It can be frustrating. I get it. I was helping my 83-year-old mom with her cell phone today. She's like, I don't know. I couldn't hear the call. I was sitting here in the car. And I'm like, well, you got the volume up? She's like, I don't know. And we're walking through it and then she's like, it just keeps saying silent. And I'm like, oh, there you go. That's the one. Oh, so just crank the volume up. Now she's good to go. She seemed pretty happy about it. She got an Apple phone. She's making the transition. She didn't like the other one. Couldn't use it. it's hard to. I'll give it up to the phone people, experts that have to talk people through how to do something with their phone. You're like, I need really step by step, easy directions. But I was able to talk my mom through it. I was pretty happy about that. Thomas, big game Tuesday. Agreed. It is a big game. It is big. I love it. Number 1 versus number 7. And if you didn't think, and I know you do, Thomas, because you just said it. But how about then we look ahead to Saturday at number 7. Now we're talking about, oh, hey, we've got number 3, number 1 versus number 3 on a Saturday. Is Houston playing Arizona that day too? Because Houston plays Texas Tech tonight. I mean, it's a great Saturday. I haven't, for as much as I used to sit down in the morning and I would look and say, okay, here's the game tonight. Here's this map out the whole weekend and all these games and everything else. The Olympics, now that the hockey is going, we got a lot of USA hockey coming up. Only getting better now after watching USA and Werenski and Dylan Larkin played well against Germany. Mo Seider back there for the Germans on the blue line. That was fun. And now it just gets more fun. And you could watch a million things if you're, I like the half pipe. How about the women hockey? How about the Bobs? Okay. You can do all that. I'm on college basketball, college hockey, and the USA hockey team, men's hockey team. That's what I'm on. Hey, you're on something else? It's okay. I don't mind that. Everybody's got their thing, what they like. But I haven't actually, I do know that the hockey team on Saturday is playing like at the exact same time as the basketball team is going to be taking on Duke. It's not the perfect. It would be great if one of them was earlier, one of them was later, or basketball was the next day, or vice versa, or whatever else. But you just have to deal with it. I can remember a long time ago when the Red Wings were in the Stanley Cup Finals against the Penguins, and then the Pistons were they playing the Spurs or the Celtics? It seems like they were playing the Celtics. Maybe it was in the Eastern Conference Finals. Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm at the Red Wing game. Watch the first period of the Red Wing game. Go over to this, squeeze into this suite, talk myself into it. Watch the Pistons. Go back down, watch the second. I mean, it would be nice if you could have had those, not on the same day. That would be the best. Having said that, with how the college football playoffs and everything is now, if you're a sports fan, it takes a little bit of adjustment, but the biggest adjustment I think is for your family, and people don't understand that. Because I was telling my wife over the holiday, so, oh yeah, there's a college football playoff game tonight. I'll be busy. So, okay. And I'm like, she's like, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, I'm watching the college football playoff game. She's like, oh, there's another one. I'm like, yeah. This is, what about this weekend? I said, well, there's 2 college football playoff games and then 2 NFL playoff games. And then there's a bunch of NFL every day. It used to be that they were all just on one day, like New Year's Day. Everybody loved it. I think the wives loved it. It's like, okay, just have your New Year's Day and then it's over. Now they take all those games. New Year's Day is still nice, but they spread them out. Everything's a lot of games all the time, everywhere. I don't mind. Takes a little adjustment, though. All right, so there's the basketball. And then with the hockey team, Michigan hockey, yeah, they're number 2. And you want to win the Big Ten regular season. The hockey team hasn't done that. They would like to have that Big Ten regular season title. you get that. Not only do you get that for the banner, which is really nice, but then you also get a bye in the Big Ten tournament. There's only 7 teams. For most people know all this, but for a few that don't, there's 7 teams. And so having the bye is nice. It doesn't mean you can't win it all. Michigan has won it all the first 2 years, I think, with Naranjo. They went to the first 3, maybe. Wait, no, this is his 3rd year. First 2. And so you can win it all still that way. But, having a bye is nice. And then having the regular season title is nice. And then getting the Big Ten tournament title is nice as well. Having a number 1 seed. A lot of people in hockey think that it's going to be Michigan and Michigan State are the 2 teams to beat. Now, I don't care if Michigan State makes the finals in hockey, but I do care if Michigan does. And if Michigan was there, they could take on anybody. Huckabuck State, bring them in. Mankato State, whoever. Michigan State. It would make it pretty cool. I mean, it would be if it was Michigan State in the finals for a championship. There would be a lot of, say, hockey fans coming out of the woodwork. There'd just be a lot of Michigan State people that don't pay attention to hockey coming out of the woodwork for a championship game. And there are a lot of, that's the talk, that those are the 2 favorites. It almost never works out where they're because there's so many upsets. But I keep hearing people talk about it. We're getting close enough where you're like, oh, well, who do you like? Who's, BU, Boston College, whatever. People keep saying Michigan and Michigan State. It's going to be one of those 2. And if it's going to be one of those 2, why not have those 2? I hope that it's on either when the brackets come out. Again, I don't really care if Michigan State could lose in the first round for all I care, but I wouldn't mind seeing them on opposite sides. I don't want to Frozen 4 in Vegas. Okay, that'd be pretty sweet. Championship game now in Vegas. Mar, tell me something. Okay, Mar is telling me something. I was going to say, hey, Mar, tell me something, and he has. He says every game now is a championship game. Well, no. Michigan could lose tomorrow and then win the remaining games, and they would still be the number 1 overall seed. They would win. They could win the Big Ten regular season title. So no, not every game is a championship game. Every game has championship game ramifications now. And when you're number 1, you have the target on you. And being number 1, that's what, to me, mostly what it is that it's cool for, if you're a fan, say, hey, wow, everyone is gunning for you now. Now you are on the top of the mountain, and everybody's coming after you because everybody wants to beat number 1. And so you could say, well, Michigan always gets everyone's best punch. You're correct on saying that. But there is a little extra. The Purdue fans. What are they going to say? Number 1 Michigan coming in tomorrow. Ooh. And their star player is F-bombing us left and right. The Mackey fans. What do they have in store for Yaxel? What does Yaxel have in store for the blanking Purdue fans? That's what it's all about. Thanks, CR. I don't know how I feel about this, that the quarterfinals are no longer the best of 3. So we're just down to a win or go home type situation. So wait, is in basketball. The longer a series, anything can happen in a single elimination. the better team, the longer, if you have a 3-game series, it's like, okay, the better team, you can lose one and you come, obviously, but 5-game, 7-game series, the best team normally wins that one. But it's not like that. Not in college basketball and not in college hockey. What if they did? If we were sitting here right now, and they wouldn't do it in the regular season, but if they went to the Big Ten basketball tournament and they wanted to make it go for 2 weeks, too many teams. You'd have to only have the top few teams go, but you play the best 2 out of 3. 7-game series. John, tomorrow is a pizza night. Let's do it. Purdue. Mackey. I think that Mackey Arena been in there. It's a very similar type structure to Assembly Hall, Champaign, and the Chrysler. I think all 3 of those, I would not be surprised if Mackey, Assembly Hall, and Chrysler were all built in the same year. It would not be a surprise to me at all. They all kind of look like Assembly Hall. You go up to, it kind of looks like a big spaceship. Mackey's right there on campus, but it kind of looks like the Chrysler Center. All of it. That's where I'm at with everything. And so what do we have? Let's look at the rest of the week. Wednesday, we will be here and we will be talking about anything that's going on with this basketball team following their trip to Indiana to take on Purdue on Tuesday. Of course, we'll have the Michigan basketball postgame live after the game tomorrow night. That'll be fun. Wednesday back here at 2. Friday, this is where we'll have to see what happens. I'll be on the road in Madison, Wisconsin late this week to follow the Michigan hockey team for their pair of games against Wisconsin. And so to see about getting a podcast live from Madison. I'm trying to make that happen. So we're going to get after it on Wednesday. Of course, tomorrow night. So for the next 3 days, it's going to be a rollicking good time. Thanks so much. This is the time to tell everyone, it's always a good time to take your Michigan fandom to the next level. Michigan, Purdue. You can't get enough of that talk. Go over to the Mason Blue Review. You want to know, you say, I want to know about the defensive tackle coach. I want to know about recruiting. I want to know about spring football. Mason Blue Review. I want to know more about Michigan basketball. Mason Blue Review. Go to on3.com. You get Mason Blue Review. You get On3 and Rivals. All combination. You get in there. I'm always there as well. So check it out. Join up. Get instant access, and we'll see you there. We'll talk with you tomorrow after the Michigan and Purdue game. Everybody have a great rest of their Monday. So long. It's over.